Hello and welcome back to Fashion Histories with me, Anita from So What Manchester. I had a few months off, but I'm back with like a mini series on fashion in film. Um, you will probably be able to tell my age from the films that I've initially chosen. But if you have any suggestions, please send them my way. I have like three already lined up, including this one. So just please shout them out, okay? First up, we're going to look at Clueless. Now, if you haven't watched this film ever, or if you've not seen it in a while, maybe watch it first, because I might burst some of your very cherished bubbles, namely the on-screen outfit selector. But anyway, it is an amazing film from 1995. And you probably already know a lot of this. It's based on Emma by Jane Austen, like the novel, loosely based, shall we say, but there are hints in there which you can pick up on if you've read the book. The costume designer is Mona May, who has done other films such as Romy and Michelle's High School Reunion, which I think you can kind of tell it's her costume work on there. Never Been Kissed, The Wedding Singer, that's just like a few of them. There is a fantastic interview with her on Dressed podcast, which is the one I always reference, but it was for the 25th anniversary, which is like a few years ago. The film is now almost 30 years old, which blows my mind. But it also kind of made me think, well, I was too young to go and to have seen that at the cinema. But I do remember like hearing about it, reading about it in all the magazines. I don't really know when I actually watched it, but it must have been when I was fairly young. But it had such a huge impact on me. Like all I ever wanted to wear after seeing the photos and watching it was over the knee socks. Like yeah, I just me and all my friends started using like As If and whatever. Yeah, it really impacted a lot of young people, I think. And it's still influencing fashion today. So we'll get into it. Okay, a little forewarning. I'm not gonna like get too analytical on this. It's not gonna be like a critique on film studies or whatever. I'm just gonna be picking out outfits from the film that I really love and talking a little bit about them. And maybe a little bit about how they reflect the character. Who knows? We'll just go for it. So we are introduced to Cher, who's the main character, played by Alicia Silverstone, and the first scene that really sticks in my mind is her selecting her outfit for the day using like a touchscreen computer and a computer program that will tell her if her outfit is cool or not. This is the first bubble I'm gonna burst for you. I'm so sorry. There is an article, an episode of the podcast Articles of Interest that focuses on why this computer program doesn't exist yet. And they reveal in this episode that, from what I remember, Alicia Silverstone is pressing this computer screen as if it's a touch screen, which at the time, it's made to be like really futuristic and that she's clearly very rich or comes from a rich family and, is able to have this as like a personal computer and a program that's just for her. But touchscreens weren't really a thing then. I'm sure they existed, but it certainly wasn't something that you had at home. In fact, having a personal computer at home was still kind of like, oh, you've got money. And yeah, so that now obviously it looks quite, I mean, you can never say this to me, but I admit it looks quite dated. But yeah, so she's there pressing this screen, but apparently she's just pressing a normal computer and someone behind the scenes is making the screen do what it does. And I was just like, I can't believe that. I can't believe it. Anyway, so this episode also talks about why that computer program doesn't exist and maybe won't ever exist, because of like, just the reality is that you would have to, people have tried to do something similar, but you would have to take photos of every item of clothing in your wardrobe, like manually do that, input that into an app or wherever this program is, and then either you or the program would have to know how to categorize those items. You would have to say what goes with what, or the computer would have to know that. And then would it just always pick the same outfits? It would never give you anything interesting or different, and like your mood might not want that on that day. So it talks about why it isn't a thing, which was really sad to hear, because in my heart of hearts I still want that, as I'm sure many people do. So anyway, so we're introduced to Cher this way, and then the computer selects her outfit for the day and all the accessories and everything that she's going to be wearing, and then we see her in this outfit. This is the iconic outfit that everyone thinks of when they think of the film. It is the yellow plaid matching skirt and jacket. It's a little pleated miniskirt like a kilt, with a quite a cropped boxy jacket, and she wears it with a white t-shirt and like a matching yellow cardigan, which is a running theme for her character throughout the film. And that cardigan, can I say, is perfection. I'm forever hunting for that cardigan. So yeah, we see her in this. That suit in particular is apparently Dolce & Gabbana. It's one of the few sort of actual designer pieces used in the film. Even though it's a very high fashion film, Mona May, who's the costume designer, said that obviously the budget wasn't huge, and so they had to really pick what they were gonna spend money on, and the rest of it would have to be like a mix of thrift store pieces, high street pieces, things that maybe extras or the people already had in their wardrobe, and then some pieces that were designed and made specifically for the film by like the costume department or another company, which then takes me to Dion's outfit. And Dion is played by Stacey Dash, who is obviously, she's a main character in this film, but I still don't think enough attention is paid to her and her outfits. She's just like a style icon, and that character really doesn't get the credit that she deserves. The interesting thing, if you look up the ages of the people playing these characters, the girls are supposed to be like 16. I think Alicia Silverstone was 17 at this point, and I believe Stacey Dash was like 27 maybe. Like, you would not dream that she was that age playing that character. She's incredible. Oh, I love her so much. Anyway, so you see these two, and Dion, this is again a recurring theme throughout the film, that Dion wears something that is very similar to what Cher is wearing, and it complements it very well, but doesn't sort of steal the limelight, but still looks like Dion is at Cher's level. And sometimes is more daring than Cher in terms of like colours and styles that she will wear. Cher can look quite pared down in comparison to Dion sometimes. But they never pull focus from each other. I just love this film. So Dion is wearing this fabulous black and white plaid matching sort of suit, like the same kind of skirt, the same kind of jacket, but her accessories are way cooler. The hat is fantastic. I think Mona May said that they added like PVC, like shiny fake leather lapels to the suit, and I think the suit already existed. Like they bought that, and she added these shiny lapels, which then matched the hat that they had made for it. And Cher refers to Dr. Seuss. That is something that there's a little tiny reference to that later in the film, which is quite fun. And yeah, they're just fabulous. There's also reference to who they're named after. So Cher is obviously named after Cher, the one and only, who is still around and still being fantastic. And Dion is named after Dionne Warwick, who the last I saw was, gets articles written about her for being an absolute riot on Twitter or X, whatever. And is just an absolute star, and just an incredibly stylish person in her own right. So we're going to move on to the next scene.